And greetings. Welcome to Maxims of Law, Part 16. If you guys are here and it's coming through clear on YouTube, please hit the like, say hello in chat so we know everybody is here, and we'll be able to get started going over these Maxims of Law. All right. And we'll have at our ready here Black's Law Dictionary. And I believe this one is 9th edition. And let's get this centered in screen here, ready to go. All right. Excellent. We got some people here. Let's get started. As soon as I clear the chat. Okay, we're going to start today with relation, incident. Relation is a fiction of law and intended for one thing. Relation never defeats collateral acts. Relation shall never make good a void grant or devise of the party. Wow. So a relations with others, right, shall never make good a void grant just because you have a relation, or devise of the party. Relation shouldn't divide another group. Of things relating to each other, one being known, the other is known. Which brings back another maxim we went over previously, which was if identity cannot be confirmed directly, it can be done by those he's known by. Let's see, things, incidents cannot be severed. Of course, before we go further, I just want to first say I re-quoted that one, just lightly paraphrased from the best of my memory from these readings. And as the audience should know, these readings are strictly for entertainment educational purposes, not to be used for any kind of professional, legal, lawful, or any other kind of advice for your personal or professional life, lawful or otherwise. Please don't do this at home. All right, let's continue. Things, incident, pass by the grant of the principal. So the grant of the principal. Guess we get kind of towards grantor here and in trust. That is incident which inseparably belongs to, connected with, or inherent in another thing, called the principal. And we have the chaplain stating that God is the principal, and we as people are incident to that. So, yes, again, this one here is from Black's Law. That is incident which inseparably belongs to, connected with, or inherent in another thing, called the principal. Excellent. All right, let's proceed. Oh, shoot, give me one moment here. We're on to remedy and recovery. See also injury and equity, which we've already gone over in a previous session. Where there is a legal right, there is also a legal remedy. Very important maxim right here. If there's a legal right, there's also a legal remedy when that right is violated. That which is without remedy avails of itself, if there be no fault in the party seeking to enforce it. When the law gives anything, it gives the means of obtaining it. All incidents are tacitly given, right, just by their actions. All right, let's see if I get the chat working well here. Looks like everything's good. Let's continue. If you can be relieved by accustomed remedies, new ones should not be tried. If an old wall can be repaired, a new one should not be made. Interesting. Back to customs. To take away all remedy for the enforcement of a right. Oh, hang on, let me fix this screen. There we go. To take away all remedy for the enforcement of a right is to take away the right itself. Remedy signifies the judicial means for enforcing a right or redressing a wrong. Which brings us back to this one. To take away all remedy for the enforcement of a right is to take away the right itself. What is the remedy for the enforcement of our rights? Every right should have a remedy to ensure its lawful enforcement. Recovery, an example, restitution, is had by sentence of a judge of a thing wrongfully extorted or detained. So as we get to recovery, restitution is had by sentence of a judge of a thing wrongfully extorted or detained. It is just that every person is entitled to a certain remedy in the law for all injuries or wrongs which he may receive in his person, property, or character. Wow, beautiful American maxim. Let's read this one again. It is just that every person is entitled to a certain remedy in the laws for all injuries or wrongs which he may receive in his person, property, or character. Notice how there's in his person, his property, or his character. So there's a certain remedy in the law for all injuries or wrongs. That's an American maxim, one to really contemplate. He who cannot pay with his purse must pay in his person. His person, lest he who offends should go unpunished. It is better to restrain or meet a thing in time than to seek a remedy after a wrong has been inflicted. This is an interesting one here, where prevention's worth a pound of cure, ounce of prevention. It is better to restrain or meet a thing in time than to seek a remedy after a wrong has been inflicted. The most favorable construction is to be made in restitutions. No one is considered entitled to recover that which he must give up to another. We are never to retort to what is extraordinary as a remedy until what is ordinary fails. We are never to resort to what is extraordinary as a remedy until what is ordinary fails. Where the ordinary remedy fails, we must have a recourse to what is extraordinary. Remedies for rights are ever favorably extended. Wow. Remedies for rights are ever favorably extended. In similar cases, the remedy should be similar. If you can be relieved by accustomed remedies, new ones should not be tried. This was similar to what we read before. Money being restored does not set free the party offering. A new remedy is to be applied to a new case. The law forbids such recoveries whose ends are vain, chargeable, and unprofitable. Wow. Law forbids such recoveries whose ends are vain, chargeable, and unprofitable. That's an interesting one to consider there. Let's continue. The law wills that in every case where a man is wronged and damaged, he shall always have a remedy. The judge does not give more than the plaintiff demands. The law gives not more than is demanded. Interesting. Remedies are the life of rights. Wow. Extraordinary conditions may call for extraordinary remedies. And that brings to mind another one. I'm not sure it's a maxim of law, but extraordinary claims may call for extraordinary evidence. But my favorite so far here has been remedies are the life of rights. All right, and we're on to rules and principles of law. See also law, which we've already gone over. The word thing has a general signification because it comprehends corporeal and incorporeal objects of whatever nature, sort, or species. So a very general signification. Every general principle or maxim of law is its own pledge or warrant, and things that are clearly true are not to be proved. Howdy there, Big Stank. Good to see you made it out. And let's continue. There is no rule but what may fail. Wow. It's getting back to things that are clearly true or not to be proved. And there is no rule but what may fail. From nothing, nothing comes. A general rule is to be understood generally. There is no reasoning of principles. No argument is required to prove fundamental rules. No reasoning of principles. No argument is required to prove fundamental rules. The principle or beginning of anything is the most powerful part of a thing. A thing. As to things not apparent and those not existing, the rule is the same. It is better to seek the source than to follow the streamlets. The foundation being removed, the superstructure fails. Where there is a weak foundation, the work falls. What avails in the less will avail in the greater, and what will not avail in the greater will not avail in the less. In conjunctives, each part must be true. So when we say this and that, each part must be true. He who destroys the means destroys the end. He who gives an end gives the means to that end. Wow. The omission of those things which are tacitly implied is of no consequence. That shall be preserved which is useful in the beginning. That is perfect, which consists of all its parts. In the whole, the part is also contained. Now, this is interesting here, the word perfect. That is perfect. To perfect something is perfect, which consists of all its parts. In the whole, the part is also contained. Application is a life of a rule. Application is a life of a rule. And what was the other life we came upon earlier? Remedies are the life of rights. So we have remedies are the life of rights. Remedies are the life of rights. And application is a life of a rule. Beautiful. Nice way these things come together like this. All right. Everything contains the element of its own destruction. Wow. An integral part being taken away, the whole is taken away. It's no longer perfected. Wow. Movables follow the law of the person. Immovable things are governed by the law of locality or place where they are fixed. Nothing is invented and perfected at the same moment. Municipality and indistinctness produce confusion. And questions, the more simple they are, the more lucid. This is interesting here too, a couple of these. The movables, your chattel, follow the law of the person. Personal jurisdiction, I think, is what would apply here. Immovable things are governed by the law of locality, territorial or in rem jurisdiction perhaps, where they are fixed. Nothing is invented and perfected at the same moment, meaning that perfection comes after an invention. It's a progressive action. Municipality, multiplicity, there we go. Multiplicity and indistinctness produce confusion. And questions, the more simple they are, the more lucid. So multiplicity and indistinctness, not good lines of distinction, are what produce confusion. Simple questions make things more lucid and clear. What is suspense is considered as not existing during such suspense. So what is in suspense is considered as not existing during such suspense. Something being suspended is considered as not existing during the suspense. So this is something that would be considered afterwards. A consequence should not be drawn from another consequence. Not only what is permitted, but what is convenient is to be considered, but what is convenient is illegal. That's a good one. Negative destroys a negative, and both make an affirmative. All right. It is better to retrace one's steps than to proceed improperly. The law does not arise from the rule or maxim, but the rule from the law. Precision and certainty are often of more importance to the rules of law than their abstract justice. So precision and certainty are of more importance to the rules of law than their abstract justice. So when you're applying that kind of certainty and precision to rules of law, it holds more importance than abstract justice. Interesting. You will perceive many things much more easily by practice than by rules. Many things pass with the whole, which do not pass separately. Those are to be esteemed vain fears which do not affect a man of a firm mind. And I think we spoke before about firmness and confirming something that is infirm. Those are to be esteemed vain fears which do not affect a man of a firm mind. The more worthy draws to itself, the less worthy. Let's proceed. Frequent interruption does not take away a prescription once secured. The greater number contains in itself, the less also. The greater always embraces in itself the less. Wow. When there is a concurrence of means, he who has chosen one cannot have recourse to another. That which is more remote does not draw to itself that which is nearer, but the contrary in every case. Nice. The inclusion of one is the exclusion of another. The certain designation of one person is an absolute exclusion of all others. The certain designation of one person is an absolute exclusion of all others. This comes down to discrimination. And as we were saying here before, this one here where we spoke about the let's see here. Well, it's somewhere here. A lot of words to scan here at this point while we're live, but I know it's somewhere where we just read. That being said, let's continue on with the reading here. It'll be worth rereading and going over again anyways to pull that one out. And we're on to the mind submits reluctantly to the rule of law. The mind submits reluctantly to the rule of law. That which has not a beginning has not an end. This is an interesting one to consider in many contexts, not just in the context of law. Use is the master of things. Experience is the mistress of things. Wow. Love the personifications within these maxims. Every principal thing draws to itself the accessory. The accessory does not draw, but follows its principle. So this is a good way to identify the principles, the thing that draws to itself the accessory. Not the accessory does not draw, but follows its principle. So very interesting distinction here. and a good one to have in the memory banks. And lastly, here we have, there is no disputing against a man denying principles. Well, indeed, and that is quite true in many ways. And from that, we're going on to the next section, which will be servant and service, which we'll do on the next stream. It seems like we've gone over our half-hour limit here, and we're ready to continue this for the next time. We're approaching the end of this, which is a tremendous accomplishment considering very few people have actually read all of these maxims of law, let alone gone through them with enough contemplation to be able to apply them in their day-to-day lives. Namely, a lot of people that have claimed to have accepted diplomas from such places as law schools and such, perhaps maybe haven't focused as much on these, which we're seeing that by knowing the fundamentals and the origins where something begins, you can have a better idea of its purpose and where it's going. Again, we want to see that justice and American jurisprudence has its full fruition here in this country. It seems to be lately the last place where it may happen, if at all. So, again, I want to salute all of you for being out here. I know there's a lot of other places to be on YouTube tonight, and to be here makes a big difference for everybody. So, at that, I would like to salute everyone. If you could, please remember to hit that bell notification so you can be notified the next time we do this, and as we complete this journey of maxims of law. Peace out.